Okay, so you want to install your own radon mitigation system. We're going to go over the necessary steps to get you to that final safe level of radon in your house if you're having issues. One thing that I want to hit on is I recommend getting a professional to come out and do it for you. There's a lot of steps that aren't very safe. This is an instructional video on how to do a DIY, do-it-yourself radon mitigation system installation. Okay, so if you're ready to install your own radon mitigation system with the safety precautions in place and the education that you have in your brain, let's get started. So for this guy, usually what you use this for is when your radon fan is located in your attic, you're just gonna wire directly into the fan box. You're gonna connect these wires in there, and then you're gonna, if you have an outlet in your attic, you're just gonna plug the fan directly into that outlet. It doesn't have to be hardwired. This is usually customary when you're doing work in the attic as opposed to having your fan located outside. Traditionally, you just have it hardwired.
Before doing anything electrical, remember to turn off that circuit in your circuit panel, turn the breaker off before working on anything electric.
So I decided that I'm going to put the socket up high. There's 4 dots in the back, and I just used a pencil to mark where I'm going to drill the holes. And I have screws that are meant for concrete, and it'll hold this box here. And then the wire will come down through the top and feed a receptacle or an outlet. And then that's where the fan will plug into this guy. And then it's going to come over here and attach to this light right over here. Just drilled the 4 holes for the electrical outlet box or the receptacle. Now I'm gonna use the vacuum and I'm gonna suck all the concrete dust out of these holes, make it so that there's a good surface for these screws to attach to. So I just put the concrete screws in and it came out a little crooked. You can see here. I'm satisfied with it. I wish it was a little straighter, but that's how it is. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take the wires, we're going to run the wires from this receptacle that we're going to put in the box we just installed on the wall, and then the line here is going to attach to a light on the ceiling, and so that'll then power this outlet. And so I'm going to take this casing off to about here, maybe 8 inches or so, and then there's 3 wires inside of this casing. The black is going to be your hot wire, then the middle one, the copper one, is going to be your ground, and then the white one is going to be the neutral. And so on here you have where your hot wires will be attached to, your neutral, and then your ground is this one at the bottom, the green one. After many attempts, I got it to look something like this. And so I took it about 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches down. This copper wire is the ground and it's already exposed. This is how the bottom looks. Now I'm going to take the casing off of these black and white wires. So this tool right here, it has 14 gauge and 12 gauge, and so I'm going to use the 14 gauge hole because this is 14 gauge wire. And I'm going to remove maybe about 1 inch or so of casing, just like that. Do the same thing for the white wire, just like that. So now what I did is I bent the wire with pliers, made like a little hook at the end, and I wrapped it around the screw, and I screwed it down. And so this silver screw attaches to the white wire,
which is your neutral, and the green is the ground. And I did the same thing. I made a little loop on the end, and then I pinched it, and then screwed it down. And I did the same thing on this side right here for the hot wire. Made a little loop, and then I screwed it down. And now it's ready to go on the wall.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk about this piece. It comes into two pieces, and it screws off of the bottom, this washer. And so you go up here, and this guy gets inserted into that hole there, and then this washer goes on the bottom. And so the wire comes down and into the box and attaches to the receptacle, and this guy holds the wire in place. And so the wire can't be pulled off of the receptacle screws, and it's just to secure it. So there's no movement of the wires inside of the receptacle box. So this is what we have. We have the receptacle, the wires coming in, it's all attached. We have the washer, we have this guy up top here that gets inserted into this hole, and this guy's job is to hold the wire, secure it to the receptacle box so there's no movement of these wires attached to the receptacle. And then this screw goes into this hole, then this screw goes into this hole down here, and then the receptacle is attached to the box as well. When you secure the box to the wall, to the concrete, using the concrete screws, make sure to hand tighten them when they get close to the wall, because you don't want to torque off the head of the screw. I finished screwing this in. Making sure I want to make sure that it's straight up and down. Right now it's a little crooked, so I'm going to fix that. So there it is, nice and secured to the electrical box. Now I'm going to put the cover on this hole right here. This screw goes into. So the receptacle box is done. It's not going anywhere. Awesome. Now I plan to use these staples here to secure the line, the wire, to the wood. So I'm going to use the staples and go all the way around here to attach to that light. I have the receptacle here. I made like a loop here of extra wire in case this ever has to be moved. Hopefully it doesn't. And then it comes across here. I've secured it with staples. See the staples every so often. It comes over here, and then I'm going to wire it to this light right here. We're going to connect the outlet over there to this light. I have to turn off the power for it. I have this lamp, and it's connected to this battery here. And so when the power is off, this lamp will still run, and we'll be able to see as we connect the wires. We're going to be using this guy right here. You can see it. That allows us to connect 3 wires in, and so we'll be able to connect the light, and we'll be able to connect the outlet. So we're gonna use these. Okay, so here we have the clips. They're just slip-ons, and you insert the pieces in like that. And so these smaller wires will be what we connect to the light up above. And so this is how it just connects. So you have your wire, and you just slip it in. If you want to get a good angle over here, like this. You just insert it, and it pushes in, and it doesn't come back out. So I'm just prepping it before I have to turn off the light, and then I'm going to finish it off by wrapping some electrical tape around each one to hold the wires in place as well. And so these ones will go to the light, and then the main power cord, or where the wires are coming in from the circuit, the existing circuit, are going to go into this third hole here. And so that's how it'll all be connected. So even though this light is off, the receptacle will still be functioning. So right here we have our 3 wires coming in. We have our black, which is our hot, our white, which is our neutral, and then we have the copper one that's exposed, and that's our ground. And so we're going to connect it to those. Those ones that are existing are going to be inserted into those clips. So what I did is I cut the ends off, and then I removed the casing on them. So I wanted to start fresh. I didn't do anything besides unbend the copper one. So now I have clean connections on these wires. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the new wires to the 3 screws here. So I have all these guys attached. There's 3 slots, and you can see the wires all the way in and secure. That's what you want to see. And then the 3rd wire is going to go into the ends of the rest and make sure the colors match. So what you have to do is feed this line through the light fixture and then into this guy, so you can connect everything inside of here. And then all this extra I'll kind of loop up over here in case there needs to be any wiggle room. So these are the other 3 wires that are going to go into each one of these. So now all of them are attached. I'm going to wrap these in electrical tape, and then we're going to turn on this light and see if we have power. Okay, so the light is working. This is just to check. We're going to turn the power back off and then wrap everything in electrical tape and then secure it. Okay, so the wires and the connectors were wrapped as best as I could.